not coming.
Can we ask everybody to come inside the tent? Be seated, siyanicela bantu bakithi. Sicela ningene nonke sigcwalise itende nalabo abalapha kuma grandstand. Sizokhona ukuqala umsebenzi wethu.
Dumelang. We are about to start with our program. For protocol, let me welcome and acknowledge Honorable Minister Gwede Mantashe, who is the acting president. Welcome. That we are 30 minutes before the scheduled time, but we are ready to start, President. So, Sister Katin, okay, it was important that I mentioned that so that we allow the army to conclude with their protocols. Are we good to go? No. Are we as the protocol? There's a person that I work with. Sign, then we'll be good to go. Minister Gwede Mantashe, acting president. I will not be able to acknowledge you, deputy ministers, or maybe let me just do that. Those that I can see, if I omit your name, please forgive me. Deputy Minister Pasha is here. Deputy Minister Nel, Deputy Minister Masemula, Minister Kubai is present. Minister Chikunga, Deputy Minister Murolong, Deputy Minister Matabate, Minister Ndabeli, Deputy Minister Njalinjali, Minister Gayton Mackenzie, Asbasheli Zanda. Bakhona na basebukhosini, the National House of Traditional Leaders, led by Khosi Thabo Siatulo. Naya simshayeleni izandla. Unkosi wethu nonkosi Mahlangu naye ukhona, masamshayeleni izandla naye. I-embassies khona lapha nazo, ithi si recognize i-embassy esikhona, i-embassy yase Jamaica, yase Japan, Korea, Somalia, Palestine, Cuba, Norway, and Australia. Nabo asibashayeleni izandla. My co-program director, Melia Mabuza, MEC, Angikuboni. Miss Fumani Tladi and Mr. Paulos Magagula. They are our sign language interpreters. Nabo siyabamkela. ODG bakhona. Nabo siyabamkela. Distinguished guests, fellow South Africans, good day to you all, and a special welcome and recognition to the Premier of the province, who is going to be welcoming us and giving us opening remarks. Ubaba Mandla Ndlovu, ngicela simshayeleni izandla. Premier, siyakwamukela. Welcome.
Deputy Minister. Deputy Minister, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to welcome all of you on behalf of the people of Mpumalanga. Minister Gwende Mantashe, Acting President General, who is here on behalf of the President, all speakers, and the Chairperson of National Council of Provinces, Minister Gayton Mackenzie, and all ministers, deputy ministers, MECs, and all members of various legislatures, Executive Mayor of Gersibande District, Councillor Mgemezulu, and all executive mayors and all councillors, our royal leadership, under the leadership of Kgoshi Mokoena, the President of Contralesa and the Chairperson of our own traditional house here in Mpumalanga, senior government officials from all spheres of government, leaders of the Alliance, the ANC, SACP, COSATU, and SANCO, religious leaders, business leaders, and civic organizations, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, Sanbonani, Loshani, Dumelang, Tamanin. Sibonga umgameli wethu uPresident Cyril Ramaphosa ukuthi asikabange thina abantu baseMpumalanga ukubhukata leli langa elihloniphekile la elizweni lethu namunhla siceda eminyaka ewu31 sithole inkululeko. Our freedom did not come on a platter. It was won through the sacrifices of countless men and women, young and old, black and white, who endured hardship, violence, and imprisonment, often giving their lives so that we could stand here today as a free people. Ngikhuluma ngamaqhawe abuya la eMpumalanga, Comrade Nokuthula Simelana, Comrade Gert Sibande, Comrade Portia Shabangu, Comrade Henry Mr. Dram Numalo, Comrade Nomoya Masilela, namanye amakabana alwela aphinda fela le nkululeko. We owe a great debt to those who fought in various ways for a future of democracy and human rights, Their courage and commitment laid the foundation for a free and fair society. And it is their vision that continue to guide us as we move forward into the future. We dare not fail these leaders. As leaders in government and society, we should always think of those who died and ask ourselves if we still represent their aspiration. Minister Mantashe, noma singakafiki la siyakhona, kodwa thina la eMpumalanga inkululeko siyayibona kule 31 years lapha eMpumalanga sine University of Mpumalanga. Sinama boarding schools, awu 6 are replace ama farm schools. Ingakho thina lapha eMpumalanga sikhipha ama matric results we quality. Quality matric results, a foundation for quality graduates that will have an impact on our society. Futhi khona lapha eMpumalanga siyaka nesikolo sabantwana abangaboni thina la eMpumalanga. 93.7% yamakhaya lapha eMpumalanga bathola ugezi. 87 ithola manzi ahlazekile. Sanitation eku 95.9%. Unemployment yona Baba Mantashe isasephezulu. Kodwa siyazama ngoba simove from 36.4% to 34.7%. Sithembise ukuthi sizo create 60,000 yamathuba omsebenzi ngeminyaka. Sithanda ukubonga iDepartment of Employment and Labor ngokusisiza nge-514 million yokudala amathuba omsebenzi roughly close to 10,000. Nalana emsukalikwa siyasebenza. We are implementing a number of infrastructure projects, including bulk water and bulk sewer. Some of them include, but are not limited to, installation of bulk sewer pump station outfall link and rising main as part of the integrated residential development program in MLO extension 44. This project will cost 25 million on completion, and phase 1 of this project has been completed. Snenkinga Yesua spillage, khona la extension 32, 33, nase 34. We are paying special attention in response to the call by the Freedom Charter that there shall be shelter provided for our people. Lapa, siyaka izindlu as 550 in this area, 300 at Wesselton and 250 at Brighton Extension. Gersebande district, siyake Lebogang Clinic la Leslie, Leandra, siyake clinic yase Kinrose, MNC clinic lana EMLO, siyake nesibhedlele sase Betal, Community Health Center yase Balfour. By the way, I am not here to deliver a super speech, but I'm here to welcome you, Minister Mantashe, and your entourage. Minister Mantashe, I would like to repeat what I once said to the President ukuthi lapha eMpumalanga kusekhaya. Here in Mpumalanga, we love the leadership of our country. We'll continue to follow you, we'll continue to support you. There is a saying that a leader should always look over his shoulder to see if people are still behind him. Tina la eMpumalanga City President Khululeka, you don't have to look over your shoulder. We are fully behind you. We want to welcome all of you here in Mpumalanga to celebrate our freedom. You are all welcome. Thanks.
Siyabonga Premier, siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi usamkele kule province yaseMpumalanga. Thank you very much, Premier, for welcoming us in the heart of Mpumalanga, a province rich in beauty, culture, and history, to commemorate the day that forever changed our national identity. Upremier uti idemocracy isilethele intutuko. Siyavumelana, siyavuma. Uthi asikafiki la siyakhona, kodwa sibheke phambili siyakhona. Phambili ngentutuko phambili. Phambili ngentutuko phambili. As we continue to acknowledge and welcome i-leaders zethu esifikileyo, uMinister Tolashe naye ukhona, u-executive mayor, nabanye abo-executive mayor nabo bakhona, o-MMCs, no-MECs bakhona, nama-councillors akhona. Angiboni ukuthi ama-students from Gertsibande district abekho ready baphi bazosipha i-recitation of the constitutional preamble. Bashayeleni izandla abantwana bethu aba okhuluma ngento ebaluleke kakhulu, i-preamble ye-constitution. If you are ready, over to you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and Honorable President. Today, me and my fellow learners are going to recite the preamble of the Constitution of South Africa. I would formally like to introduce myself as Adam Danka from Ermelo Combined School.
Igama nguMphiwa kaHatebe oqhamuka eLindile Secondary School.
Ek is Janika Papenfroes van Hoërskool Ermelo.
We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who have fought for justice and freedom, and respect those who have worked hard to build and develop our country.
Futhi sikholelwa ukuthi iNingizimu Afrika ingeyawo wonke umuntu ohlala kuyo, sibumbene nokuba singafani.
Sorry, the mic, please. Share the mic. Use the one on your right.
Yeah.
But aizwakali.
Can you please use it for me?
People are complaining. Can you stop doing that? Can you stop directing me? Please stop. You're confusing me, colleagues. Can you stop? People are complaining on the right. The sound is not audible.
Okay.
Can we start?
Must we start again?
Please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and Honorable President. Today, me and my fellow learners are going to recite the preamble of the Constitution of South Africa. I would formally like to introduce myself as Adam Danka from Ermelo Combined School.
I am Spetilezisa from Lindile Secondary School.
Igama lami nguMphiwa kaHatebe oqhamuka eLindile Secondary School.
Ek is Janika Papenfroes van Hoërskool Ermelo.
We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who have fought for justice and freedom, and respect those who have worked hard to develop and build our country.
Futhi sikholelwa ukuthi iNingizimu Afrika ingeyawo wonke umuntu ohlala kuyo. Sibumbene nakuba singafani. Ngakho-ke ngokusebenzisa labo abasimele esibakhethe ngokukhululeka, samukela lo mthetho sisekelo njengomthetho omkhulu weRepublic ukuba
Silungise ukuhlukana kwesikhathi esedlule futhi sakhe umphakathi osekelwe ngamagugu entando yeningi. Ubulungiswa bomphakathi nokungamalungelo abantu ayisisekelo.
Die grondslag lê vir 'n demokratiese en oop samelewing waarin die regering gegrondves is op die wil van die bevolking en elke burger gelyk deur die reg beskerm word. Die lewensgehalte van elke burger te verhoog en die potensiaal van elke mens te ontsluit. En 'n verenigde en demokratiese Suid-Afrika te bou wat sy regmatige plek as 'n demokratiese staat in die gemeenskap van nasies kan inneem. May God protect our people.
Nkosi sikalele iAfrika. Murena bonule sitjhaba sa heso. God sien South Africa. God bless South Africa. Mudzimu fatutsetsa Afrika. Hosi katekisa Afrika.
Alala. Asibashayele izandla futhi. I-preamble yethu ye-constitution, i-cornerstone ye-constitution yethu. Siyabonga kakhulu. Siboyifunda le constitution. Siyazi ne important. Nama national symbols wethu siwayazi. Ne flag siyazi ukuthi imeleni. Sinayo i-program yokuhamba sifundisa abantwana acting president esikolweni. Sibafundisa ngepatriotism. But sicala sicheka ukuthi bayayazi ukuthi iflag imele ini. Ama colors we flag amele ini. Ama national symbols wethu yini. So siyajabula ukuthi abantwana base Gert Sibande district ikolo zabo bayafundiswa ngeconstitution yethu. Ashayeleni iDepartment of Education yaseMpumalanga izandla. Sizawubiza manje uFaith Kholi to give us a cultural item. Faith. Mina ngiyacula futhi if awukho ready ngizokuthathela ispace. Asimshaleni izandla. Ngimbika abi eculeni, so if niyabhayiza ngithatha isikhathi senu. Asibashaleni izandla, sibafuthumeze, siba welcome.
1 2 1 2
1 2
1 2 1 2
1 2 1 2 1 2
Thank you so much to the Minister of Arts and Culture. Thank you to everyone who recommended me.
Indlela yempilo ithi izithuko asifani namhla kuyakhanya ikusasa limnyama ithemba liyashabalala isizio iyadangana isizathu sokuvuka sikho komele senze njani. Thank you.
Asibashayeleni izandla kakhulu. Indeed, South Africans are talented. Thank you very much. As we continue to acknowledge abaholi boyethu abakhona, Deputy Minister Steve Litsike naye ukhona siyamamkela. Siphinde futhi siamkele i-embassy yase Paraguay ne-embassy yase Arab Legislate nabo bakhona. South Africa asisebenzi sizodwa kodwa sisebenza namanye amazwe So siyabonga ukuthi befike namhlanje bazosihalelisa ngale celebration le yethu ebaluleke kakhulu in the history ye democracy yethu. Ngizawuphakamisa uMinister wethu, uMinister Gayton McKenzie, who will then extend remarks and conclude by inviting Minister Gwede Mantashe, the acting president. Thank you very much. You're welcome, Minister. Asimshayeleni izandla.
Dumelang. Hello. You know, nna ke tseba batho ba Mpumalanga, ha se batho ba dulang ka re ba jile Retex. Ke batho ba leng Vavavumo. Dumelang. Dumelang. Ke ntho e ke e tsebang. You know, acting president, we had a meeting and we said the Springbok team and Bafana must also go to Mpumalanga. They said, hey, will the people of Mpumalanga go? When the Springbok team came here, and I want to start with a thank you, Moba to Mpumalanga, Liba Swabi Sidze. It was full to the brink. Thank you very much. And October, we are bringing Bafana to Mpumalanga. Let me thank all the ministers that are here. The ministers, the deputy ministers that are here. I saw the DG is here. The army, the police, the navy, the ambassadors. The ambassadors, I want to thank you because you know there's no genocide in South Africa because you are here with us. And that's the message that we should never stop telling. I want to thank everyone that's here. The Premier of the province. Your Premier is a fighter. When I say a fighter, I don't mean the other fighters. He will fight for this province. He will make sure people don't forget there's a province called Mpumalanga where the sun never goes down. I want to say to you, I spoke to the president this morning, not the acting, Yamampela, the real one, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. He is sick. Can we say to him, get well, President, get well? Thank you. The doctors told him not to come. He wanted to come, but doctor's orders is doctor's orders. I want to say two important things. Ek wil twee belangrike dinge sê. Ke batla ho bua dintho tse pedi tse leng tsa bohlokwa. Number one, ha ke re bala dipapiri, we are reading the newspapers on Lees Courant. But hey, GNU we will. Hey, the GNU is finished. The GNU is clear. I've got very bad news for the haters of the GNU. The GNU is still standing strong. We are together. We are together. We are together. There's no couple here that don't fight. There's not a couple here that don't fight. So we do fight in the GNU. But because we have a leadership a president that understands that he's not a president in the GNU of the ANC only. He's a president of all the other parties in the GNU. Whether we like it or not, President Ramaphosa is our leader in the GNU, and we should behave like that. Some people say to me, "Hey, Mackenzie, we saw you singing Ramaphosa, re o rata kaofela." How can you sing that? I said, "Wena, your party called me a bandit. Ramaphosa looked past my past and he said, let me give him a chance to lead the people. Now you want me to fight the man that looked past my mistakes and said, I see you fit and proper to be in my government. Tamu Bapa Lakwana. I am unapologetic. I'm supporting the president of this country. And if you have anything bad to say about him, there's people you can go and talk to, because I am respecting the president. Lastly, before I call the acting president, I'm told the acting president will be president for 3 hours. So I will tell you a story about him, but I have a message for him. I'll tell you a story about the acting president because I've got a message. The African National Congress and all liberation movements delivered freedom that we are enjoying today. Trade unionists, everybody that was part of the struggle, the United Democratic Front delivered this freedom. People died for this freedom. People went to jail for this freedom. We must learn to respect our freedom. We are not where we want to be, but we are not where we used to be. We are making strides. We are halfway. So we are going to change your life. But I must say something to the majority party. Acting president, when the African National Congress was persecuted in South Africa, they went to other countries like Angola, Zimbabwe. When they go Zambia, Lesotho, when they got there, they lived in camps. Those countries, we must be forever grateful that they have given our commanders shelter and protection during that time. But it doesn't mean because some of our leaders was in foreign countries, illegal foreigners must come here and do what they like in South Africa. We understand that you owe them. Now it's the GNU. We owe them nothing as the GNU. We can't have illegal foreigners selling drugs to our children. We can't have them taking housing. We can't have them taking jobs that are meant for our people. So I'm asking you, Acting President, we have to act. Otherwise, our children will bow to these illegal people that are in our country. We have nothing against foreigners, but we are a government. We have laws in this country. You must respect our laws. But Fela Mona, they are busy with prostitution, selling our children, they are selling drugs, they are selling expired food, our children are dying. We can't allow that anymore. Abahambe. Abahambe. They can't steal our freedom. And some of you that sit here in leadership, I know some of you are angry. You must go on the ground and go and see how angry is our people. Your anger and my anger means nothing. It is the anger of the people that means everything. Lastly, I want to introduce a man that I must say, he has been a father figure to every GNU minister that's not from the ANC. He has time to explain stuff. He doesn't throw his weight around by us. He will come and say, Mackenzie, you can't say that. Samson, Gwede Mantashe, when we went to be sworn in as ministers, I was at the airport. We were in the same plane. He calls me. He says, Mackenzie, sit next to me. He spoke for 2 hours from Joburg to Cape Town. Every time I want to say something, he says, whoa. He never gave me a chance to say one thing. All I wanted to say to him was, Minister Mantashe, I don't understand Xhosa. He spoke for 2 hours. I didn't understand a word. He didn't allow me to intervene. Now he has inspired me to get Xhosa lessons because I don't want to endure myself to 2 hours of not understanding what the man is saying. Minister Mantashe has many records that you are not aware of. He has a world record. The acting president has a world record to have the shortest stint in the whole wide world as a mayor. He was recalled and reshuffled within 3 hours after being the mayor. He also has another record. He's a communist also. He is the only communist that has ever occupied a senior position at a bank. I can't tell you what happened to where people were giving loans there without collateral. I don't know. Minister Mantashe has served 2 terms. He was the deputy of Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe at the NUM, the National Union of Mine Workers. He comes from the ranks of the coal mining era. He was the deputy. Then he became the Secretary General for 2 terms. It is now his second stint as a minister of mining. So our acting president has always been a 2-term man. He's now the second time in the GNU to be acting president. Today is a big day because it's also a celebration of another 2-term, the 3-hour 2-term. 3 hours as the mayor, 3 hours as the acting president. But we appreciate him. He's a voice. There's very few people that knows more than me when it comes to the Cape Malay history, the history of the Khoi and San people. I begrudgingly have to admit today that Minister Mantase, in our discussions, has schooled me on many issues about my own history. And for me, it speaks of the encyclopedia of a man he is, the wealth of understanding of issues that govern our lives. And for that, I want to thank him. And he mustn't just stand up. The artists sang very well, but they sang the Pinankari funeral. We must say thank you to God. Please, come forth. I want to thank Mrs. Mabuza and Ms. Mabe, who we are going to bring the acting president up with a song. And unless we're a lawyer, you can't sit down. Hallelujah.
He pays all the artists, but he wants me to sing for free. It's not fair. Okay. Minister has requested that we all stand and we sing Modimo Haliteng Hayo Matata as we welcome the acting president. Modimo Haliteng Hayo Matata Yo Matata Hayo Modimo Haliteng Hayo Matata Hayo Matata Hayo Modimo Haliteng Hayo Matata Hayo Matata Hayo Modimo Ukolo lwame ndo yuka nalo lwame nalo ulibambe ngesandla ndiyongena nalo Hayo Matata Hayo Matata
Thank you very much. Program directors, thank you very much for giving me this time, this opportunity to talk as the president of 3 Hours. Three hours is long enough to take serious decisions. So there's nothing bad with 3 hours. Ministers and deputy ministers present here, justices of the Constitutional Court and Supreme Court of Appeal, Judge President and members of the Judiciary, Premier, and any other Premier who is here, and MECs that work with the Premier, members of Parliament and members of legislatures, Director General. I always say to Mrs. Baleni, she is citizen number one in terms of public service. It's public service number one. And all other senior officials of the state, we're happy to have the army here. We feel safer. We feel much, much safer with the army here. So when I say the army, I won't break it into the various divisions. It's the army. When you're here, we're covered on the ground, we're covered in the water, we're covered in the air, we're covered everywhere. We're happy that police are making this event safe. We welcome the representatives of the Chapter 9 institutions, traditional leaders, inkosi zakuthi, nezikumkani, namalungu endlu, ye-traditional leaders and the Khoi and son. I-leaders zenkonzo, i-leaders zenkonzo, iinkokheli zenkonzo, abefundisi, nabashumayeli, nabavangeli. Bishop ke yitask kuba i-bishop, u-bishop ngumfundisi onikwe umsebenzi. Iinkokheli zalapha ekuhlaleni ezikhoyo apha, indwendwe zonke, particularly the diplomatic corps that is here. I've met a number of ambassadors who came and greet. Thank you very much for coming. Abantu bonke balapha eMpumalanga abakhoyo apha namhlanje, nabo bonke abantu balapha eSouth Africa ababhiyozela olu suku lwanamhlanje. Phambi kwandinibulise, I must apologize for the president. President is not well. He can't speak. He's down with flu. I know that is a confidential discussion between a patient and a doctor. But the president, president wabantu bonke, yiyo le ndinixelelayo. Kufana noba ndithetha kwifamily. Deputy president is having a bereavement in his in-laws. Bantu athathe intombi yabo, yamgcina, yamkhulisa, yamnonophela, uye khona. Loo nto ke yanika ithuba loba kulawule mna. I must greet all of you as we celebrate the day of our freedom. And when you go around or you open a radio, there's a question that is asked by many people. What are we celebrating? What are we celebrating? You see, people who ask that question do not know the history of this country. Our history may have been scarred with colonialism and apartheid, but ours is a history of courage, is a history of resilience, a history of determination to prevail against considerable odds. That is what we are celebrating. Kuti, we are not colonized. We are not under apartheid. We are free. We are struggling against all the odds, and we must continue struggling. People forget that we were actually colonized for 342 days. 342 days we were colonized. Of that 342 days, 46 years were the years of apartheid government, when the Nationalist Party misgoverned this country. Only people who know that will appreciate why we are celebrating. The ANC was involved in the struggle for freedom for 82 years, continuous. 1912 to 1994 is 82 years. Building on centuries-long resistance by our traditional leaders who fought and defended our people and land during centuries of the wars of dispossession. If you don't know that, this question about what are we celebrating, you will ask. But if you know that, you will know why we should celebrate. Now, what we have never been told is that life is never a straight line. Life is going up and down. We'll go to 30 years of democracy, And when it is 30 years of democracy, people can easily forget what we have left behind in terms of apartheid and how it stripped people their basic right, including right to citizenship. We were not citizens in this country. You would work in a contract and every contract will stand on its own. You can't say you have 10-year experience, you have 10 times one experience. Today, as we move through communities, we often hear people saying, 30 years, nothing has changed, or we are becoming worse. Now, it means that some people feel that we have deteriorated. But we must remind ourselves and our people that before 1994, the government of the country served only 8% of the population. Today, it is serving every member of this population. And therefore, that 8% was the white minority. Now, every citizen has a right to basic services. Every citizen. And every citizen has a right to participate in shaping the government. That's why we elect every 5 years. Either local government, as we're going to do next year, or national and provincial government, as we're going to do in 2027. Those rights we've acquired. Those rights we celebrate. Those rights we enjoy. Now, when people complain ukuthi infrastructure ibolile, indlela zambeki, and it means that it may be by design. It was never meant to service the entire. That infrastructure is cracking under the load of every citizen of this country. But what we should appreciate about it, you know, if you go to Gauteng, the most lighted province, people will tell you and focus on the Johannesburg city center. Doesn't look the same. Johannesburg city center doesn't look the same. But people will not tell you that it's because businesses that were in Johannesburg city center migrate to Sandton, and Sandton is growing and is flourishing. They will not tell you that there is the waterfall, and the waterfall is growing and is flourishing. They will not tell you that there is the Midrand. They will not tell that between 1994 and now, the gap between Johannesburg and Pretoria is closed. The gap between Pretoria and Ekurhuleni is closed. Around R21, you find development of new businesses every day. And that is what we are celebrating. So, I always tell people, ukuthi, yabona ka ucinga ka ingqondo yakho ixelela into yoba kubi, uyabona, kuzaba kubi nyani. Uba ngaba uhleli uthi, hey, kuyathakathwa apha, uzawulala usothuka uphupha kakubi because your mind tells you that. Kodwa uba ngaba ufana nam, uyayazi into yoba ibanga impundulo ifuna ukhaba mna, ndizayibamba ngomlenze, ayifiki kum. So, siklo situation yoba abantu bakuthi masibakhumbuze ukuba we have everything to celebrate. I was listening to the Premier, listing things that they are going to do and things that they are doing. I spent 7 years in this province. I know it like the palm of my hand. I was a mine worker here and I organized mine workers. It's not the same. Actually, coal mining, which is your pride, Premier, is ran, owned, and managed by black South Africans. Only Only Glencore is predominantly white in mining coal here. And that coal is not underperforming. Why should you not celebrate that? Is it because I don't own a mine, then I can't celebrate? I must celebrate that our people own those mines. They manage them. When we came to the mines, you couldn't put your hand on a blasting certificate because it was reserved for a scheduled person, which meant a white person. Today, a blasting certificate is a profession. It is 80% driven by black South Africans. We celebrate. Now, 31 years ago, on this day, eyes of the world were on South Africa. Our first democratic elections were the most important story in every media house in the world. Many were glued in their television and others were gathered around their radios. For the first time in South African history, people of all races, actually irrespective of background, voted side by side for government of their choice. Back then, when we were still deeply divided as a nation, tensions were high. Now, Minister Mackenzie can stand up here and tell anybody to get out of here. He is happy that we forget his past. We don't just forget your past, we build on your past. Because if you committed mistake in your past, it means there's something you have learned. If you have been holy all your life, there's nothing to learn. You have been holy all your years. You commit mistakes. That's why when you bring up a child must be a child, must not be something else. Commit the mistakes that are committed by other children so that you take your responsibility of parenting. If you don't do that, then we will have nothing to celebrate. Now, having said that, it is important to all, when we talk about our history, Deputy Minister Nell, when we talk about our history, half the time we give detailed account of the wars of dispossession. I am from a province of forts. A fort is a sign of war. That's why if you come from my province, you find St. Clamogan, you can find Fort Cox, Fort Hare, Fort this. It's just a province of forts. And that sign is a sign of wars that were fought. That is the history that we explain over and over. One of the histories that we always forget, before 1652, there were many running battles in the Western Cape where the Khoi and the San defended the land. A general who attached Mozambique to Portugal tried to attach the Western Cape today, which they want to make an independent state. It can't be. It has a history. And the general there was killed with 65 of his army men by the Khoi and the San. That history is not told enough. As a result, as a nation, we get fragmented on superficial issues. This day is to celebrate the unity of all South Africans. I always remember the Battle of Gij in the Western Cape, where slaves rounded up other slaves and farm workers and farm owners, marched to the castle, wanting to take over the seat of the governor and declared the first republic that was black. They were surrounded across the Salt River. And that battle, where a man I respect very much called Van der Kaap said, tomorrow when we get the victory, you will call white men and women Mr. and Mrs. And he was surrounded and they were taken to a treason trial. That was the biggest treason trial in the history of South Africa, only surpassed by the Program of Action Treason Trial in the early 50s. Only. And that history is not told. As a result of that, we get fragmented. Then we give PA an opportunity to build a strong party because we don't integrate ourselves into one. We are one people, we suffered the same. Cape slaves is where the origin of inequality in South Africa comes. It's not from the wars of dispossession, it's from those Cape slaves. And it is important for us to actually write and tell the story about the Cape slaves. Now, on the 27th of April 1994, the dignity of South African people, black and white, was restored. Many people believe that the freedom in 1994 only liberated black people. What they don't understand is that it liberated one people from doing something immoral. Apartheid was declared an evil against humanity. When it was destroyed in 1994, every South African was liberated from that evil against humanity. And that is what we should be celebrating. That's why we are here today and celebrating. For our beloved Madiba reminded us, in the system of apartheid, both the oppressed and the oppressor were robbed of their humanity. Okay. Both the oppressed and the oppressor, oqinezelwe noqinezeleyo, bakhululwa, banikwa ubuntu babo. However, the oppressor and the oppressed were all given their humanity. That is 1994 freedom. That is what we are celebrating, is that we are having our humanity as a people. On this day, we pay tribute to Madiba, noble citizen of this country, resilient nation that understands the true meaning of reconciliation. We showed the world that it is indeed possible to move beyond a bitter history. When people criticize us for the government of national unity, they say, why do you talk to the DA? It takes us all the time to explain that you never negotiated with your friend. You negotiate with your enemy. If you are engaging your friend, it's a picnic. But if you want to build something, you form a coalition of forces they are contending. They are contending forces. They want to fight over everything, whether it is the budget or anything. They fight. It's because you never negotiate with your friend. Your friend will take you out for a bribe. By engage your most hostile enemy. You know, and they say black, and I always remind people, ideology has no color. Ideology is the mindset. We can leave the DA, but I'm not sure if MKP and EFF are better options. They are so aggressive and hostile against the ANC. So it's like choosing a devil and also but run into the fire. That's it. You run away from the devil, you get into the fire. You burn in any way. Now, so the fact that we are having a history of reconciliation over revenge, that is what we were celebrating. Is our choice of reconciliation over revenge. Healing over hatred. You heal, you don't continue hating. Peace over conflict. And right-wing fringes regard this gesture as cowardice than a noble one. That is why you will find some of the people taking of an orania. An orania. piece of land in the Northern Cape. They want to create it as some land that is independent. Actually, if I would be a president for more than 3 hours, I would declare that people must go and build in Orania. Black people must go and build there. And we mix them. They appreciate that hatred can never survive peace. It is peace that builds a nation. But I can't. If I was, I would say, go and build in Orania. Others go over to America and ask for the Makulubas who Trump to punish us, but they stay here. Now they are told to go there and be refugees. They are refusing. They must go because we are a free country. We are a sovereign country. We are not a province of the United States. And that sovereignty will be defended. That's why we're happy when we see soldiers here. We know that our sovereignty is protected. Yeah? That's it. Now, these choices, we must honor those who actually made sacrifices. There are people in this country, many of them, who paid the ultimate price of paying for freedom with their lives. We must always honor them and respect them. Any attempt to list them will cause a problem because there are so many that if you touch 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, you leave hundreds of them. You cause confusion. And these choices we made over the three decades ago defined our national character, and we have elevated moral standing in the world. That's why in many countries, we don't apologize for standing with the people of Palestine. We can never apologize because other people stood with us. We can't apologize for standing with the people of Western Sahara. We can't apologize for standing with people of Sahara, Southern Sudan and Northern Sudan. We must pay our price and render our solidarity. Our people, when they're in the DRC, many people make noise that, we have lost so many soldiers and so forth. Okay, we honor them. But the reality is that if you die in the process of peacemaking, you are an honorable man. If you are a rebel, you are a dishonorable man. So that's what we should be doing. We are committed to assisting where we can contribute with peace. That's why this week, President Zelensky was here. And people say, is South Africa now leaving Russia and go to Ukraine? No. South Africa propagates peace. And that war in Ukraine is not a Ukraine war. It's a proxy war where NATO wants to expand its influence and there is war. Ukraine is just an outpost of that proxy war. And we must always be there to provide help and assistance and support where we can. South Africa remains committed to progressive foreign policy and to engaging the countries of both the global north and global south. South Africa owes its liberation to many countries of the world that stood by us and supported our struggle. We don't owe them, Minister Mackenzie. What we owe is to continue pledging solidarity to people who sometimes will never pledge solidarity with us. We don't owe certain countries. We owe those countries that need solidarity. We know the value of solidarity and we must pledge solidarity. And we must actually, we stand with the people of Palestine. I know they will part, because you are a Christian, you think that Israel is a chosen land. That's your choice. But even if you believe in that, appreciate when there is genocide. That there's no choice that makes them, give them a right to kill people in their thousands. We stand by the people of Gaza. We stand with Western Sahara. We stand with the Eastern DRC. We stand with Sudan. We stand with Yemen. We are actually still owing women in Afghanistan support against gender oppression and other parts of the world that do the same. That is what we owe the world, not that we slept there and we slept in that country. No, that's not the issue. We are committed to playing our part in bringing about end to conflict and suffering and war. That is our inclination as a country. We are a diverse nation with diverse cultures and traditions. We speak many languages. And that's all. The language, the boys are most South Africa, Africa, the Bulabula in Kwash. I speak all of them. I have no problem with that. And I know that once you understand languages, you are so empowered. You are so empowered. You will never sleep without food. You will get accommodation. As an organizer of the NUM, we had a general secretary. I won't tell you who was this general secretary. Who would say, go and organize in Musina. He gives you car, he gives you petrol money, and gives you no accommodation money. And you say, but accommodation? He tells you, say, man, we're expecting you to organize thousands and thousands of mine workers into the union. And you can't organize a place to sleep for you alone. So how possible, how will you organize thousands when you can't organize a place to sleep for you alone? So it forces you to learn ukuthi into yakho awuyilabi uyikhombela. Yeah. Uba yo yakho awuyilabi uyikhombela. Uba yo yakho awuyibadli uyayikupa. Okay. So on this Freedom Day, there is so much that we need to celebrate. Let me cut many of the things here. This country, you know, sometimes we have a view about Afrikaners. Say Afrikaners this, Afrikaners that. One thing that, as a member of a movement, this glorious movement, that was in the struggle for freedom for 82 years, I know that a man like Bess Nodier, Ombey, an Afrikaner, who stood chance to be president of the country under apartheid, made a choice to be with the people and struggle for freedom. We must honor them. Oh, Ombey. No, as a clergyman and an Afrikaner, and it is his father who helped in the founding of the Broeder Bond. But Ombey chose to be with the people. I won't point at other Afrikaners who made that choice. There are few of them. I'm looking at one here who made that choice as a leader and a lawyer, would be a senior counsel by now, but chose to be with the people. That is the choice that when those Afrikaners make that choice, we must recognize it. Yes, we must be clear. We will not allow anyone to define us. Nobody must define us and tell us who and what we are, or turn us against one another. No one will do that. We are a people, we must make choices that unite us. we must roundly reject all attempts to divide us on racial lines. You know, so South Africans, one thing that we must do, ekufuna siyenze, is to look at what we have done over the last 30 years. One of the things that we must correct is creating our people into a passive citizenry. Bantu bakuthi sibanike into ekuthiwa dependence on government. We used the wrong word ekuthiwa delivery. And therefore people had to sit in the sun, pass there, wait for a truck to deliver. We will have to reverse that consciously. Our people must put their skin in the fire. For this country to be what it should be, our skin must be in the fire. You know, I'm from the rural areas. There, every family has a piece of land. Every family, almost. But when we were at school, we used to steal maize in those fields, fry it. And there was one thing that those old people did. If we were frying it and eating it, they were not beating us up. But if we put it in the bag, they beat us up. Now we understand the difference. When you are frying it, you are hungry. When you put it in the bag, you are stealing. Big difference. Today, those pieces of land are lying fallow. We have a responsibility in the GNU, Boma Kings, to revive the relationship of our people with the land and appreciate the importance of food production, because land feeds individuals. And if we don't do that, the question of what are we celebrating will become relevant. But if we can revive our people to use the land, produce food, eat. I have colleagues here who believe that really food comes from Pick n Pay. There are many in the cabinet here. I have these colleagues in the cabinet who believe that food comes from Pick n Pay. Food doesn't come from Pick n Pay. Food comes from the land. Let's work the land. Thank you very much. As we build a new society, let us be clear that this will forever remain a country that belongs to all who live in it, black and white. We must always remember that. And so on the Freedom Day, I call on all South Africans to remember how far we've come to this and our shared journey. Because if you forget the journey, you forget the reality that faces you. Let us commit ourselves to the ideas of our Constitution and to pursuit of human dignity. No matter how difficult times may be, let us stand united. Let us not turn away from the difficult task of building a more just and more equal South Africa. That task is in our face. We must do it. We can't run away from it. Let us continue to nourish the flame of freedom and protect it so it may be passed to future generations. And I always fight with the Youth League. When they say, what are we going to inherit? I said, no, you are not going to inherit anything unless you are participating in building it. Be part of building it. Then it's yours. You're not inheriting it. You are taking what you have contributed in building. And therefore, let us move forward to South Africa of our dreams. On behalf of the President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, I wish you all a blessed and happy Freedom Day. May God bless South Africa and protect the people. Hosi asikatekise. Hosi asikatekise. Okay. Sinkwembu sisikatekise. Okay. May God bless all of us. Thank you very much.
guys want to